Đây. Kiểm tra. Nọc hình luôn đi.
Từ chỗ đeo nào.
Đánh gà nhiêu nhỉ?
2 triệu, chống cửa 2 triệu.
Chống cửa 2 triệu kìa.
Còn đâu ai muốn đánh ngoài cứ xuống tiền trước mặt nha.
Xuống ghê đấy bói guys. Còn đấy vẫn shot đôi 10 này. Xong rồi đấy. Chia cái nhá.
Chia luôn
đi.
Chống cửa 5 triệu cái gì?
2 điểm
này làm gì?
4.
Đánh 2 điểm, 4 là trương hơn.
4 là trương đi nữa.
Bây giờ đánh bây giờ nào?
Em chưa nhiều.
Chống cửa 5 triệu nhá.
Chống cửa 2 triệu xuống bao nhiêu cứ
2 triệu để tật ga.
Dưới 10 triệu.
Sắt đồng hoa nhân mấy?
3 triệu này. Sắt đồng hoa sắt
nhân
4 đi.
Từ từ một cái là lật đã.
Sắt đồng hoa nhân 4 đi.
Ủa nha.
Cụ nhân 3.
10 cầm nhân 3 này.
Cầm nhân 3 10 thường nhân đôi.
Rồi thế rồi nha.
9 nhân đâu?
Thôi 9 bỏ ai nhân 9 làm gì.
Rồi, một cái đi. Xong ok chưa?
Rồi,
Thống nhất thế nhá.
như thế nhá.
Dưới 10 triệu báo cái, trên 10 triệu báo cái nhá.
8 à? 8 rồi 1 tôi đúng không?
Đi 2 triệu chống cửa ban đầu.
1 2 3
2 điểm.
2 điểm.
2. Ui trời chị. Tít rồi.
Tít rồi.
Ui rồi 3 điểm. Hay thế. 2 này. 2 này. 2 này.
Một cái
Thế nhỉ.
Chứ hả?
Bốc được đấy, bàn tay vàng đấy.
giết nhau.
3 này.
Ôi, cái bốc.
Bốc đi. Bốc thử như thế nào? 5
luôn này. 5 triệu.
Chống cửa 2 triệu.
Đèn thế nhỉ? 3 điểm.
5 điểm.
4 điểm. Nhà chưa bao nhiêu á?
5 điểm.
Bao tiền đi chứ.
14 to.
5 triệu.
2. Nhà này bao nhiêu rồi?
3,5.
3,5 à? Đếm lại đi. Không được 5 lít kìa.
5 triệu.
Ủa, 2 ván à? Được rồi đấy. Thế mình bốc cái đúng không?
Đúng rồi. Bốc đi. 4.
4 cái 2.
Đấy, 5 triệu tiêu.
Đeo thích ông kia.
Là 4.
4 chia đâu vậy? 4, 5, 6 triệu mẹ. Bất 5. Bất 3 ván cho nó 10 triệu đi.
Mỗi 9 điểm á?
9.
5 điểm.
Ôi chết tôi rồi. Ăn nhiều là phải nhả ra. 5 triệu à?
6.
Nhà này 6 à?
Đúng
nhà này
rồi.
bao nhiêu? 5.
Bốc được đấy.
Cho ăn này chết tôi rồi. Nhà này nào đánh lúc ẩn lúc hiện.
Vì đây
Việc người ta
mê tín thì đánh
đúng này. 9 nhất 9 này.
3 triệu.
ăn được thì lại giảm thôi.
Bốn điểm.
Rồi ôi 8 điểm.
Nhân đôi lên.
Ôi
ôi
ôi.
mẹ 9 cấm mà vẫn còn chết.
Mày thế trúng cửa vậy rồi.
3 triệu.
Này theo
3
4 triệu.
4 này.
5 triệu.
kia
6
sướng nhỉ.
triệu.
Đánh có 3 triệu thôi, nhiều đâu.
Bốc chán
Mẹ
thế.
9 cấm tưởng được ăn rồi.
Bốc 2 ván đen này.
Rồi sao được của bốc.
Đây để bốc cho.
Ok. 5
5 triệu. Nhất là kiểu gì cái chả chết.
Nhà này một tẹt cái thế nhỉ?
Chúc
4 điểm.
Bốc vậy thế.
4 danh con này.
9 5 triệu. Xả tiền.
2 xịt vào đây.
Ôi chết tôi. Rồi. Đấy à. Kia bao nhiêu kia?
5 triệu.
Đấy một tờ đây 5,5 đấy. 5 triệu. Nhà này 2 xịt kìa. 5 triệu đi.
Sướng chứ.
Cái
3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. Mừng cái chương mới. 18 19 20. Rồi.
chương mới chống cửa đã. Xem tình hình nào.
Phải mừng luôn.
Bốc 2 nhà này đúng không?
4 5. Cài chưa.
lách luôn.
with 4,040.085 points. French pilot Alexander Arlansky secured second place, outflying Mamistov with a very strong performance in the fourth programme, performing precisely over the whole competition with only minimal mistakes in his manoeuvres. However, the new world champion 2019 is Louis Van Aert from France. He proved his outstanding abilities throughout all competition days and managed to beat Arlansky by just 63.31 points. Tears of joy for the Frenchman, but also respect for all participating pilots.
This March, we'll lift your spirits on Fox Life. Single, ready to mingle, and clueless about the dating scene.
I had no idea that dating was going to be so complicated.
A widower becomes a hot commodity known to single ladies as the unicorn.
You ready?
Oh yeah, girl.
Jump back into the farm life with Mike and Rio.
I'm really excited.
These city slickers are slowly settling into Bucksnort.
Boom! Oh, it didn't go down.
But have they truly gotten over their agriculture shock?
Yes.
Bless this mess. All eyes are on these spectacular vocal battles.
It was really a masterful performance.
Catch new coach Nick Jonas as he makes waves to find the new champion.
He's so cute. Look away.
Welcome to the show.
Together with Kelly, John, and Blake.
I can't wait to win again. Hey!
On The Voice. This March, we'll lift your spirits. On Fox Life.
Sporting art at its finest. Oh, it's just amazing.
So good, so tempered, so perfect.
This is turning into quite a performance, delighting the crowd, embracing the occasion.
Oh, absolutely sensational.
That had a bit of everything in it.
And it just gets better and better.
And welcome to the National Stadium here in Vientiane, the capital of Laos, for this Group F encounter in the AFC Cup, a match between Lao Toyota and Ho Chi Minh City. Simon McMenemy with me, Mark Richmond right here, and it's a game that promises loads of goals, Simon, only because we've got two teams who've got trouble keeping them out.
Well, some high score lines they've had recently, and when you have the ability of someone like Amido Abalde up front with the experience he has, you would expect this to be an entertaining game.
Well, the referees all set and prepared to go already, and you have some experience, of course, with Amido Abalde talking about from last year as well, playing in the Indonesian League, where he was the top scorer in the Piala Indonesia, the Indonesian Cup last year for Persebaya.
Yeah, he did really well. He started off like a house on fire. He was knocking goals in all the time, and you thought, oh, this guy's the real deal. He's really going to fit in. But Indonesia's one of those places, you know, you're only as good as your last game, and you have one bad game and the fans are like, oh, he missed a few chances there. They start to turn quite quickly, and I think he kind of struggled with... He started off with a big club at Persebaya, and that's a big club. It's a lot of pressure playing as the foreign striker there. And, you know, the goals started to dry up towards the end, and they released him halfway through the season. Then PSM picked him up for the second half of the season, and we've just seen them play previously against Kaya, but he struggled to find his feet really at PSM, didn't really fit into their style of play, and then left them at the end of the season. But there were occasions where he was just unplayable. There was occasions where he was a real threat, really difficult. Normally when he was trying to prove a point, you know, when he just received some criticism.
Well, he received loads of criticism there, and he came over here, of course, and into the Vietnamese League as we have a look at the Ho Chi Minh City players. And he has, of course, proven his critics wrong once again, because he is their top scorer this season, having scored a goal in 44 minutes of action in the AFC Cup. That is a fantastic achievement indeed for Balde. This is Goran Jerkovic, who is leading out to the Lao Toyota players. a team really that are top of the table in terms of the Laotian League. That's Balde that we're talking about, the number 99, the big, tall Guinea-Bissau player, former Portuguese under-20 international as well. And the other big lad, of course, the big ticket right there is Pape Diakite. And you have a look at these two players playing against his Laotian side, and you'd think that set pieces would be one of the ways to go tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, foreign players, I remember my time in the Vietnamese league, I remember the Vietnamese players really struggled dealing with foreigners at set pieces. Every set piece was just, you know, you're pulling your striker back to make sure you deal with the other striker. You've got your centre back on centre back, foreigners mark foreigners, and then everyone else deal with each other. It is a real problem when you don't have height and you have two guys that are, I mean, they're big guys for foreigners anyway, let alone playing in two leagues that's synonymous with small players.
Well, you look at the Laotian League, which hasn't begun yet, and there is a situation in Laos, of course, where the league might just be reduced to 4 teams this year. And it is a league that just, 8 years ago had 11 teams in the league, and Lao Toyota have been winning it for fun, only because they are sponsored, and they are one of the only 2 clubs in the league that have got foreign players in the lead alongside Master 7, who were knocked out of the qualifiers of the AFC Cup this year. So, big dogs in the league, but when the cat actually returns, that's when the mouse starts getting pretty excited and pretty scared, isn't it? That's the problem that Lao Toyota are facing in the AFC Cup, Simon.
It's true, but at the same time, you know, it's important that a club like that finds out how it can use what it has to as a weapon against other teams. We see Kaya competing quite often against big teams like PSM. They done really well against Beckham X in the past. You know, they pull together what they have, they turn it into a weapon, and they give it as best they can against the opponents. Small teams can still cause threats. Playing in small stadiums, empty stadiums, having to travel, staying in different hotels, travelling distance. It all plays a big part of it, but it's how you put that team together, you know. Tough and difficult to beat will always be tough and difficult to beat, whether you're a Division 1 team or a Division 4 team.
Well, this will be their 25th match in the AFC Cup, Lao Toyota, including the playoffs against Bóng, which they lost in 2017 and 2018. And in those 24 previous matches, they only won 1. We got to go back to February 24th, 2016 in the stadium against Bengaluru. That's their only victory. Since then, they haven't won. Their home form in the AFC Cup, well, they started with being undefeated in the first 4 matches, home games, but they only had 1 without a loss. That was a draw last year against Kaya in their last 8. So it's a horrendous run of form. And they have conceded 3 in each of their last 3 games in the AFC Cup. So you'd expect Ho Chi Minh City to be the hot favourites for this one, Simon.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Vietnamese football, if you look at their national team, is very much on the up. They're a really difficult team to play against at national team level. They seem to have this endless supply of strong running, tough young players that just keep coming through the ranks. And I think if Vietnam keeps progressing the way they are, both nationally and domestically, they're going to start certainly domestically competing with Thailand for you know the best league domestically in Southeast Asia. It was a tough league when I was there, so it takes a tough team to finish first and second. Yeah, it's not an easy league by any stretch.
Simon McMillan, of course, spending a large part of the last decade in Southeast Asia. In fact, you were in Southeast Asia the whole of last decade, weren't you? Having a look at it.
Yeah, for my sins. Yeah, for my sins, I was here. Yeah, ups and downs.
Lots of ups as well, especially that win in the Indonesian league. And right here, of course, it's a stadium that is synonymous with you. We were just talking about it the last time out. You took a Philippine side that played here, won here, and from then on, they've just gone up, and they've been on the ascendancy since then.
Well, as it happens, this was the stadium for the qualifying for the 2010
AFF Suzuki Cup.
Yep. And we qualified second. You know, Lao went above us. We qualified over Cambodia by 1 goal. Now, where the Philippines have gone since then, getting to the semi-final of that Suzuki Cup edition, had we not got that goal and Cambodia would have taken our place, I mean, we might be looking at a very different scenario in terms of there might not be a PFL, there might not be a Philippines League, that so many other different connotations might have come true had that goal not gone in. It was incredibly important just to get that extra goal, and yeah, good memories in that stadium. We did some good things.
Yep. As we have a look at the Lao Toyota lineup, I can tell you that it's no change from the side that lost the last time out against Yangon, and why not? The league hasn't started yet. You might as well put the same 11 players up there in a coach's formation of 3 centre-backs, as we have a look at the referees as well, all from Iraq. Zayed Tamir Mohammed will be the man in the middle. 2 captains exchanging flags, shaking hands, and it's that figure of Tran Phi Son, one of those pint-sized flying wingers that Vietnamese football always produces through the years, against the big and tall Frenchman Goran Jerkovic, who is in his very first year in Lao Toyota, having arrived from Bahrain, from East Rifa, of which he scored 2 goals last season. And here is the Ho Chi Minh City lineup. I can tell you that they've made 4 changes, including the man in the middle sticks, Nguyen Tan Tang, who will be fighting for the gloves this season with Buen Ting Tong. Ngo Tung Duk and Ngo Ge Vu also go into centre-back position, and Vu An Tuan goes into central midfield, taking the place of Assam Ngo Gu Duk. On the bench, the likes of Van Tuan, Do Van Tuan, the number 14, is there, and Nguyen Hu Tan as well. And the other one is number 11, Nguyen Xuan Nam, who scored 2 over the weekend when they beat Quang Nam in the Vietnamese League. Fukuda is the coach for Lao Toyota. This will be his 40th game in his second year as coach of Lao Toyota. His next victory will be his 25th as head coach in a job that he took after leaving Mongolia in the Mongolian League. And his opposite number will be Jong Hae-seong, who turned 62 8 days ago. Korean, of course, who was a part of the 2002 and 2010 South Korean World Cup squads. And he is on his 35th game. He is the V-League Manager of the Year last year, having taken a side that was for so long in the 2nd division in the last decade, and all of a sudden 2nd in the Vietnamese League. Well, Korean footballers, Korean managers and Vietnamese footballers, they have gone hand in hand over the last 2 years, haven't they?
It seems to be a partnership that works for whatever reason, whether that's culturally, whether it's just the style of coaching compared to the style of player he's working with. It seems to be a match made in heaven at the minute, and certainly the Vietnamese national team are reaping the benefits of that. You know, we played against them, very difficult team to play against, just attack you from all angles, so quick, so fast, and frustratingly so young.
So the countdown to the game between Lao Toyota and Red against Ho Chi Minh City in the AFC Cup. Ho Chi Minh City have conceded 2 in each of their 2 games so far in this competition. Lao Toyota have conceded 3 in their last 3 games in the AFC Cup. So we're expecting goals here. And the Vietnamese, of course, will have main dominance of the ball as they stroke it around, as they always do, just like the national team, trying to make the full width, use of full width of the pitch. And just as you say, that one that's gone way long already into opponent's half. And it'll be a 3-man defense with those 2 flying wing-backs as well in Somsavat and Saison. Saison, of course, in his 6th year, one of the most experienced players in the Laotian League, looking for the tall head of Jerkovic, who's backing into his opponent.
Interesting, we have a foreigner as captain. That's an interesting decision. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Obviously, if he has a great CV and he holds himself, players get behind him, but it can cause ripples, you know, bypassing a local player.
At the moment, it looks as if the pitch is misbehaving more than anything else, isn't it? Bouncy all over the park. That's a lovely ball that's floated right over the top. Just a little too much zip on the pitch. That takes it around the captain, Phi Son. Viet Phu looking for that out ball. I think that the Korean coach Hae-seong's really signaled to his team not be afraid to play it direct and long.
Excuse me, I'll just take that. Nice physical start there.
Zakite throwing his elbows and himself all around. That's a silky touch from Phuong, who is certainly one of the most exciting footballers in all of Southeast Asia. That's gone against the upright. That's a header that's taken first time by Balde. No nonsense from him, but what a ball that was played inside by Phuong, wasn't it?
What a ball and what a save. I mean, fair play to the goalkeeper here. That's in the corner and he gets down, helped out by the post, but still. Really good save there so early on. Got down so low and so quick. Yeah, very good, very good. Great ball, great header, great save.
And almost a double save as well, because it came off the upright and he prevented it from falling neatly into the place of Balde. So a very promising start by the Guinea-Bissau international. Once floated deep inside Balde yet again at the heart of it all. And it's cleared first time by Lao Toyota, under pressure already after only 2.5 minutes, Simon.
Well, we did say early on that set pieces might be a bit of an issue here. Balde is an imposing figure there, and when Dieke comes up from the back as well, you've got two big 6'2", 6'3" guys really making their presence known. A real threat from any dead ball put into an area.
Here he is again, trying to show that he's got the silky touches as well to go. That very big, imposing frame of his, Jurkovic. Now he's got such an important duty tonight, just to hold up as long as possible. But 3 taking him out of the ball straight away. Diakite happily playing it outside to Tung Kwok. Huang Tin, every side needs a player like Ngo Huang Tin. He'll give you 6 out of 10 every week in, week out. He's that sort of player, isn't it?
Steady Eddie, I think they're called Steady Eddies. Everybody needs a steady Eddie.
He's the kind where it's not going to get the fans off their feet in terms of the excitement, but the coaches all love him.
Yeah, the sort that when he's ill or when he's injured, you miss him.
Yeah. Ball's gone out for a throw to Lao Toyota. Somsabat Sofapiksai, that left wing back, who scored 5 goals last year and also played at the Southeast Asian Games, of which the Laotians sprung a surprise or two. Jurkovic dropping very deep in order to get involved, and because he is that deep, there's no one up front.
A little bit rushed at the minute from Lao, just wanting to get up the pitch too quickly, not prepared to just open out, switch the ball to the other side of the pitch, making it very, very easy for Ho Chi Minh to just sit in and win the ball back comfortably. A little bit more composure, just slow things down, try and get a little bit of possession going.
It's a long searching ball, once again looking for Balde. And header which was helped on. Second ball wasn't won by Phuong, and a tackle that was thrown in very, very deep and late by Suksavan.
Just raked down the outside of his ankle there. That'll be a sore one. He knows it. He patted him on the back to say sorry. Doesn't need to be told by the referee.
Tung Kwok, who is one of 4 changes today, taking the place of Le Van Son down that right-hand side. Kong Tan, who has been an ever-presence in the team in his second year in Ho Chi Minh City. Diakite.
You get the feeling it's going to be a bit of a shift for Jurkovic today. He's vastly outnumbered and they're just comfortably playing passes around him. He's going to have to try and maybe conserve a bit of energy and just shut off some options, try and get them to play a way that his colleagues can kind of shut off and assist him close down. But if he just runs around on his own, he's going to find it very tough today, I get the feeling.
Our ball was struck straight at him, and somehow it came off the Frenchman. It's been kept alive pretty solidly. A very ambitious effort in the end, but he did well enough to keep it alive. Pita Kongmangritat.
I'm going to need to be a little bit closer than that.
Pitak's very much one of the domestic stars of this Lao Toyota side. Top scorer for the Laotian team at the 2017 Southeast Asian Games, so he has a goal or 2 in him.
Big instructions being shouted out early on.
Well, once again, that's a long diagonal, which has been spotted as perhaps one of the Achilles heels of this Lao Toyota side. Their inability to defend those balls that are played at the wing backs, who love moving forward. Fitak, that's a clever ball that's played inside to Manolom. Jurkovic, that ball came at him at 100 miles an hour, couldn't control it well enough.
Well, Ho Chi Minh seem to be quite happy just to keep the ball across the back. They know that Lao are going to sit in. They're going to have to try and open that open that area for them to play in, and just by playing it across the back, they just open that possibility of a ball going forward. Balde taking quite a heavy knock there. You can expect some physicality, I think, when you're that big. No one's going to go easy on you.
So now Hiro Kawakami, Japanese, was brave enough to jump where no man wanted to jump. Here is Balde back here getting involved in the action again. I think he came from an offside position.
Well, something that Lau really have to figure out is how to compete here, because obviously science means he's going to win that header every day. Now, it's not about the first header, it's about where the ball goes off that first header. Let him win the first one, if that's what it takes. Rather you do that than put yourself out of position by trying to fight for the first header. Just drop back and take it. Let him win the first header and let him flick it on. Got to be a little bit smarter to deal with a player that size, especially when you're giving away so much height.
Some of the Lao Toyota players are complaining it was a pass back to goalkeeper Tan Tang. That certainly was an accidental clearance into the safety of the arms of Tan Tang. Huang Tian just curling that ball into space. It's a mistake at the back, and an opportunity for Kong Hien. Tried to go for goal because he looked up and didn't see anyone inside the penalty box. I don't think anyone expected that slip up at all from Saison. Lao Toyota right wing back. So 8.5 minutes played. It has been all Ho Chi Minh. They've asked the more pertinent questions, knocking on the door already, and in fact hitting the upright after a quite splendid save by this guy in the ball, Tavi Sundala, after just 1.5 minutes. Kong Phuong, so silky smooth, absolutely brilliant. Balde taking the play a little bit too wide, and was a lot of frustration from Fison more than anything else that Balde's pass wasn't good enough. Had to be better, especially the work that was put out by Kong Phuong leading up to that.
Well, this was one of the things that a lot of people said about him in Indonesia, was just that little bit of care. He's a good player, he's got good feet, he's good in the air, he scores goals, but there's a very simple, unpressured pass that he's just played clean off the pitch. And this is a guy who's played in the SBL. He's played at a very high level, yet he's just passed the ball straight off a pitch. These are some of the little things that players start to get a little bit frustrated with. They expect more.
Jurkovic after the year, and I think he's taken a very hefty challenge, both of them going down.
Yeah, he felt that one, that's for sure. Intent in that challenge.
Oh, Viet Phu, fresh from scoring over the weekend against Quang Nam, one of the 3 goals in that 3-1 victory for Ho Chi Minh. And he's up and about. So too, of course, Viet Phu was in his first season from Da Nang. Past the 10-minute mark. A very high line put out by Ho Chi Minh. There's your Brazilian international. Jurkovic came from an offside position. Might have been handball anyway.